we're going to be reviewing the buttons and our controls on the ground and in the saddle. But first of all, let's do our groundwork. So if you want to take a closer look, here we go. We've got a basic side pull. Now the first thing that we want to do is control the head, the neck in this exercise, the head and the neck. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand back over here. Let me kind of move him to the side so you can see better. Ooh. I'm standing back, putting my hand on the saddle horn. I'm standing into his pocket, thumb and forefinger, and I'm just going to reach up and ask him to give. And when he gives, just release. And he really gave well. A nice release. Very good. Matter of fact, he was kind of holding it. I'd repeat this on both sides. What you do on one side, you always do on the other. I'm going to move him over just a little bit so you can see. Ooh. All right. So again, standing in the pocket, my body is right up next to the saddle, and he's already anticipating me asking him to give his head. Oh, you're such a good boy. Yes, just thumb and forefinger. Ask. There you go. I don't even have to move to suggest and demand. If I'm just using my thumb and my forefinger, it's really nice and easy. Okay, so that was moving the head and the neck. All right, now let's take a look at the buttons. Now the buttons on the ground are going to be defined by your saddle and basically where your stirrup is going to hit, because think of this as, you know, a substitute for your leg. But this is how your horse learns what those leg commands are. Now, of course, you're going to be squeezing him and using him in different directions, but if your saddle is right here, this is what they are. All right, button number 1, slightly in front of the girth. Button number 2, at the girth. Button number 3, behind the girth, okay? Button number 3 is not way back here, guys. Sorry. And button number 1 is not way up here. Your leg doesn't go there. So if you're teaching the horse that's where your command is, it's really going to be hard for you to get your leg in there. All right, so number 1 moves the shoulders. Number 2 moves the rib cage. Now the rib cage is the basis of your lateral movement. Also, rib cage number 2, squeeze on both sides, means go forward. And button number 3 means move the hindquarters. So let me show you this real quick. It's really easy to do, to move the hindquarters and then move the forequarters. I always start on the hindquarters first. You tip your nose in the direction that you are going. And I like to keep my hand kind of up here where your hand would be if you were in the saddle anyway. Now I point my toes towards his flank, and I'm going to ask button number 3, button number 3, button number 3, until I get a crossover. All right, I'm going to walk him out a little bit farther so you can see. What you want is the horse to see button number 3 and just cross over. See, my hand is up here where the saddle would be, and button number 3, don't let him walk forward. Button number 3, press, come on. And there we go, we got a crossover and release. Button number 3 and crossover and release. Button number 3, cross and release. So that way I'm able, start over here. Get over here. All right, what you do on one side, you do on the other. So remember, hand up here, button number 3, and don't let him walk forward. Come on. Cross, cross, cross. Very nice, and release. Okay, now let's move the forehand. Forehand, it's pretty easy once you get used to it. All right, the hand that's closest to the horse's head, I like doing this with a saddle horn, putting the reins over the saddle horn. I'm using standard English reins would work well, but these are about, 8-foot roping reins. I have my elbow up here, so I'm just below his eye so he can see it. The whole object is that I need to move it. Now remember, to move the forehand, it's button number 1, which is right in front of the girth, and it's tap, 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 until I get that cross, cross, and release. Tap, cross, tap, cross, tap, cross. There we go. Absolutely beautiful. He responded very well to that. Okay, What you do on one side, you do on the other. Remember, elbow up. I'm going to make a loop in my reins just like this. And I'm going to position my elbow so it's up. And I'm going to not let him go forward. Ready? And it's funny. This side not working as well. And release. Come on. Tap, tap, tap. And release. Release. Now I'm just pressing a little bit. And I got exactly what I wanted. Really nice. So, quick groundwork exercises. They move the head, the neck, the shoulders, and the hindquarters. Button number 2, we're going to work on that in a completely different set of videos, but that's our basics for right now. Well, thank you so much for joining me on today's video, and if you enjoyed the video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. And remember, if you want to see more, check out our playlists.